This is massive. Today sees 6th face 5th on the final day of the regular season before the league split. And with Nordsjaelland just 2 points behind, it's basically winner takes all. It could be a save-defining moment. Yes, hello and welcome along to part 15 of our second Rebuilding Scandinavia stint from Viborg with me, Daniel. We're back today to face Nordsjaelland, a side directly above us on the same number of points and just a few ahead on goal difference. And if we lose today, it could be heartbreak in the very last game of the regular season. Nordsjaelland absolutely flying below us and we do not want that 7th spot. So if you're looking forward to seeing how we get on and whether we can make the top half split and then seeing our first game in the top or bottom half split, then please do put a thumbs up on the video and subscribe down below for daily FM22 content. It's getting very tense in the Hemel save as well. You can find yesterday's up in the eye above, as well as the latest experiment episode, Sunday special from last week and the top 3 playlist, and all the other links in the description below, including the Patreon, the join button if you wish to be a channel member, and the Twitch channel too. But thank you as always for your incredible support, as we have got some brilliant performances to reflect on, some injury news as you can see at the top of the screen, and a really important game. Of course, this one doesn't need talking up. You can see just from looking at the league table why it's so crucial. Nordsjaelland went and won at Copenhagen last week, and ironically, we're only actually 8 points off the top of the league. It's really tightened up in the Danish Superliga. But with Hayden Carter out with a sports hernia, having played Copenhagen with all of the loan players unavailable, we are somehow still in it. And I've got to start on the schedule to show you how, because when we played Copenhagen 2 games ago, the last one after the Visual game on camera, we were depleted massively. Of course, we lost loads of players in January. We'd reflected on that in the last episode. We then had Harbo, Palmer and Toxvard all out because they're Copenhagen players. Look at the bench. We brought on 2 youth academy kids, Blaham, Manev and Beck. And the starting 11, we had Tobias Carlson in midfield. Tranberg started because Hayden Carter had a hernia. Grunin and Witt, 2 holding midfielders, played in centre mid together. Thorson started on the right and was awful. But we snuck a 0-0. We played ultra defensively. Fullbacks on defence. The 3 holding midfielders, they played like holding midfielders. Trust me on that front. No support or attacking duties there. And we just left Rothman to run around on his own. A bad day at the office for him, but not one that could be blamed on him. Crucially though, we got a 0-0 draw, and that might be the difference at this point, because today, given the difference in goal difference, a draw should be enough to see us into the top half, and that's directly as a result of that point. The other good news was that we produced our best performance of the season after that, I guess potentially because the Copenhagen players had had 2 weeks off. We played AGF, we looked really solid. Tranberg has slotted in for Carter's injury really well, and we've not really missed him that much, to be brutally honest. Harbo came back in style with a goal, and Rothman, with some support in attack this time, got himself a brace as well, including a penalty. So we're in really good shape now. The top sides are starting to bottle it a little bit, which may be good if we make the top 6 split. But for now, Nordsjaelland is a huge task, and it's going to determine the rest of our season and probably what we can do in the summer transfer window. We looked in the last episode about the differences, certainly in terms of finances and prize money if we finish top half to bottom half. Then factor in the European playoffs as well. It could be so save-defining. We've got a youth intake round the corner. It could be a very exciting day, but it could go very wrong too. So let's get straight into the first one. Our home to Nordsjaelland. This will be decisive. 6th v 5th. We've got to keep an eye on Nordsjaelland as well. They're at home to AGF, who we battered last week. And ironically, AGF could end up 3 points off the bottom half today. When you consider how far ahead that top 4 was, really is quite remarkable. So let's go and get through the tactical meeting. Let's see the team we can put together. I'd imagine it will be quite similar to last time. Big crowd in, over 6,500. The back 4 will stay the same. Tranberg is really playing well at the moment. I have no intention of dropping him out. The midfield 3 is settled. The front 3 isn't great, but Becker's come in and started to perform again. And we're down to the bare 18, so we don't have to make any squad decisions at all. What that means, though, is our lineup for today is Morten Behrens in goal. He was exquisite against Copenhagen. Man of the match, 7 saves, commanded his area, he was brilliant. And while he might not end up being first choice next year because Lerche is developing hugely, he's certainly been the star of this last month or so of the season. And Yemby and Lauritzen are the fullbacks with Jensen and Tranberg as centre-half, Witt, Harbo and Toxvard the midfield 3, with Palmer, Beck and Rothman the front 3. Which player is going to be the big sale this summer? That's going to be the next question. For now though, let's get into the first game today, and it decides what half of the table we're going to be playing in next week. Well, a couple of very good players in this Nordsjaelland side. I'll be interested to see how they play over the 90. They've had a good season as well, competing for the top half. But we're just on the brink of what we wanted to achieve this season. We said if we could keep people fit, if we could keep the squad together, we should make the top half split. Well, we've lost a few in January, but overall, we should still have enough. If we can get a point today, it's virtually done. We're going to keep a close eye on the Nordsjaelland game as well, as the free kick comes in there from Lauritzen, headed away as far as Beck. He's going to pick it up again on halfway. Good early start here as we get on the front foot. Beck through to Palmer, he's 1-on-1, forced a little wide. Across the box to Harbo. Oh, he's hit the bar. How's that not gone in? Out to Lauritzen on the left, the danger's over. That should have been 1-0, that one. We've got the added worry for the summer that Palmer and Harbo both out of contract in December, so we can't sign them on loan again. Toxvard the only one we might be able to keep, but they want an extra sort of 700-800 quid a week in wage contribution. And at the moment, Nordsjaelland 1-0 down. That helps both of us here in this game. It's been a terrible first half. There've been one highlight, and at 40 minutes in, doesn't look like either team deserved to score. But who cares? 0-0 at the moment is an absolutely brilliant result. So let's pump the fist. Let's get the lads to prove a point. We've got a fair few of them motivated at the moment. And we're back just over 10 minutes into the second half. We've got possession in our defensive third. Jensen gets it up to Harbo, who goes long to Rothman. Must have been offside there, surely. Flag didn't go up. And it's cleared as far as Anyembi, who gives it to Witt. Back in the natural holding role today as Rothman to Toxvard. Slide challenge on the through ball. Falls for Tobias Beck, who after performing well last week, has had a really poor game today. Nordsjaelland have missed a penalty, then equalised, but AGF straight back ahead. Excellent news for us. We're going to take Tobias Beck off for Karstrup. Anyone else I want to do at the moment? Witt will come off as well for Gröning, if ever there's a day for an experienced player. And Tranberg off for Carlson, the tried and trusted combo. Let's see if we can hold on. 25 to go. We have been a better side, but at the moment, this result isn't relevant because we're going to be in the top 6. And with 15 minutes left, we're going to make changes. Palmer will be replaced by Thorson. And we've got one more left. It's either the left back or it's the centre forwards. I'm going to leave it. I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure what to do. As we head towards the final 10, who's most tired? Neither. I'm going to take Rothman off for Blaham. Fresh legs, youth up front. Let's just hope he can run around. Keep it 0-0. Keep pressing high. But it's Nordsjaelland on the front foot. They pick it up with a centre forward to Abu Francis. Good challenge from Harbo. Back to Gröning. And Yemby chips downfield, but it's pretty aimless in truth. And Devlin's on the front foot again for the visitors. Out to Hansen on the right-hand side. Takes on his man to Devlin. Jensen mops up, but the pass is awful. And thankfully, Hansen's shot is high, wide and ugly. It should have been better because he wasn't under much pressure. And they're on the front foot again. They seem to be finishing well. Jazino down the right-hand side. Delivers the cross. Morten Behrens commanding his area. Big kick downfield. There's no one there. Relax, Morten. You don't need to get that much under pressure. We can just take a draw. We don't even need to go forward. As Carlson picks the ball up at the back to Anyembi. Into Thorson on the right-hand side. Long ball up towards Blaham, who loses out in the air. And again, they're on the front foot. We look like we're stressed. We're playing like there's the world on our shoulders. And it really isn't the case. And Yemby heads away to Thorson. Can we nick one on the break? The two youngsters are up in support. It's hit too late. Blaham's offside. It's saved by the keeper anyway. The flag goes up. I'm going to drop Harbo to a support duty. Just make sure we don't get caught behind there. I'm also going to do the same with Thorson. It's basically what we did against Copenhagen. And Karstrup on the left as well. This just means that we've got a little bit more support in defence. As with 5 minutes to go, 0-0's enough for us to be in 6th place. AGF have got a third against Nordsjaelland. There is the top half finish. And now we can have a real go. A 0-0 draw, not an exciting game. But again, Job done. 2 home games in a row. We've got the results we've needed. 5 yellow cards for the visitors. It's clear what their game plan was. So let's see how the fixtures are drawn and which one of these top sides we're going to be facing first. Biggest news of the season, Klaxon. 769,000 for finishing in the top half of the Superliga. Add to that the prize money we could get at the end here. This is absolutely huge. We've got every game on TV. We'll receive 325 grand. I told you financially, this is changing the landscape. Our debt is down to 1.5 million. 300 grand of extra TV money will basically counteract our wage bill for the next 10 weeks. This is huge. Absolutely massive for the football club. And that's why those 2 0-0 draws, ugly as they were, are so important to our future. Let's have a look at who we face first. We have got, where are the fixtures? Randers away. A side that are just dropping off a little bit, but we face in the cup in a month's time. So that's the game we're going to be back for after the international break. And we're just delighted that financially we seem to have secured ourselves. Do I need to talk about this screen, or does it explain itself? I think we might just move straight on to the game. It's another terrible youth intake. I mean, there are some players who have 3-star potential, but you look at the current ability and realistically, nothing is going to happen there. So a very disappointing note to return on. Let's go straight into the first game against Randers. It is a big half a season, but we know that financially this can be crucial for us. Nordsjaelland lost at home to a Dents in the bottom half as well. Thankfully, we don't have to worry about that. How they signed Seema, him, and they're in the bottom half. Their whole team is between 4 and 5-star ability for us. We've only got 1 or 2 players that do that. It's baffling. But let's get through the tactical meeting. Randers v Viborg. And this is a chance for us against the best sides in the league to either go on a terrible run of results or maybe just try and spring a surprise. So let's have a look at who we can put out today. We have got Hayden Carter back for 45 minutes. I'll bring him off the bench today rather than start him. The subs have played reserve football, which is why they're not there. I think the rest of it we're going to keep the same. So it's just who misses out on the bench, really. And I think it's probably going to be Manev, unfortunately for him. The rest of the side picks itself. You know our 11 now. It's the same one that played brilliantly in that 0-0 draw last time. It did the job there. It's 3 clean sheets in a row. Can we make a 4th today? Because that would be spectacular. Well, John Arnarisa's side, we've had mixed form against them, haven't we? Okoroji, a player we know well at left back from other saves. And it's got to be said, actually, maybe it's no surprise we're doing well now. Because throughout this Scandinavia rebuild, both at Helsingborg and here at Viborg, the stints we've done best are when we've been able to play the same team every week. And at the moment, we're able to do that. We're settled. However, they've got 2 up front today. They're going to test our centre-halves. With Tranberg being a backup, this might be where he gets found out. Into the first half we go. Randers v Viborg. A dress rehearsal for the cup semi-final, no less. Let's see how we get on. 20 minutes on the clock. It's been a very quiet start in this game. Not really going anywhere with it, Randers, but keeping the ball much better than us. And there is the through ball, which Vito will chase. But Anyembi gets there. It's a horrible back pass to Behrens, but he manages to bring it down and keep it out of his net, most crucially. But that is probably the best chance of the match so far. And it's all of our own doing defensively. As we're back with Okoroji on the left wing. Good block on his cross. Headed away by Harbo. Rothman drifts out wide to hold it up, but that means there's no one up front now. Rothman doesn't mind though. He just goes surging down the right wing. Powers past one. Has support from Palmer. Why did he shoot? He's got bags of pace. He could have got away from the defender. A great opportunity for David Palmer, but the decision making absolutely miles off. As Beck on the left-hand side finds Toxvard. Gives the ball away in midfield, finds Nielsen. Chips it forward to Al-Haji. And on the right side of the box, he gets it backwards to Kammerbauer. To Johnson. To Al-Haji. Into the box to Kammerbauer again. Johnson puts it in. They're playing beautiful football, but where's the final product? It's got to come soon. There's the shot. It's a brilliant save. Morten Behrens to the rescue. Corner kick. We're coming up to the half-an-hour mark. And Randers are starting to apply the pressure. The cross into the front post, headed away by Jensen. Vito picks it up on the right, but can't do anything with it. And now we're up the other end with Anyembi. Short throw and 1-2 with Palmer. To the byline, delivers to Toxvard. Hits the woodwork. The cross, or the clearance, is deflected to Lauritsen. And his shot's blocked. Kammerbauer gets it away. That's our first good chance. An injury for Randers. No shot on target for us. But a pretty even game aside from that. And of course, as soon as I say it, we get an injury. It's Tobias Beck again. If he wasn't injury prone, he'd be an absolute world beater. Thankfully, we've got a good backup in Karstrup. He will come on the left wing. And at half time, it remains 0-0 here, but we put up a decent fight against a very good team. So we're back on the left wing with Randers, nearly 10 gone in the second half, and they're on the front foot. Started this half the better too, as Berg Johnson up towards Varn up front. Must have been offside. Behrens does brilliantly to get away the cross. I think it was with his leg in the end. And Graves picks it up again on halfway. Wide to Calaso on the right wing. Kamabau makes a good run. Unmarked in the middle is Nielsen. How is there no flag at any point there? It's going to count. It's 1-0 to Randers. And unfortunately, we've been done on the counter. An even game, but you've got to take your chances. We haven't done that. And it's a throw on the right-hand side for them. Okoroji takes it. It's a terrible one. Switch sides to do that, so it must have been an intended long throw. As Graves comes down the right, it might still lead to something. Calaso delivers to Varn. Two in the middle. Nielsen's one. And we're collapsing. This is more like what we're accustomed to against the top sides. And don't forget, this is realistic now. We've had those spells of defeats twice this season, and they've been against the top half teams. We're playing them every week now. It is likely to happen again. I hate to say it. So Okoroji on the left with a throw. We'll make changes once this highlight's done. I'm looking at Palmer. I'm looking at Toxvard. Maybe even Rothman. So we've got to think about young lads here. As Behrens has had a poor game again, and I'm not sure why. He's been very good in everything else we've seen and couldn't do much about the 2 goals. Toasting down the left to Nielsen on a hat-trick and just dinks over the bar. Let's make those changes now. Let's bring on our own youngsters. We've got Thorson on the right. We've got Blaham up front. We'll bring on Grunin for his appearance in centre midfield. And Carter can return from injury at the back. Victor Tramberg can have a rest. We've got just over 20 minutes to go. Randers have won this comfortably. And the game's just sort of petered out. It's been very professionally managed by Randers. There's a minute plus stoppage time to go. They're 2-0 up. They're keeping possession. And we've not really laid a glove on them. Having said that, over the course of the game, same number of shots on target. But they've got a more ruthless striker and a better team. And there's the hat-trick for Nielsen to prove it. He's had 4 chances. He scored 3 of them. And we haven't got that conversion rate. So with a young team coming on now, it's more about getting minutes than getting results. It's 3-0 at full time. Randers win comfortably in what was a very even game. We actually had the higher expected goals, but we didn't take chances. So through the dressing room we go. We're disappointed with the result, but the performance wasn't atrocious. That's the best I can say. Let's have a look at the schedule for when we're going to be back. But with this top 6 and playing each of them twice, I don't think there's going to be many wins, are there? Tobias Beck picks up another injury and will miss next week's game. They do come a little thicker and faster now we've got to the championship group. Couple of midweek ones, including the cups, of course. And that's what we're going to be back for. I think we're not expecting much in the league. So unless we start going on a run, which I guess with 3 home games out of 4 is possible, the plan is to come back and show you maybe the second leg of Randers and Nordsjaelland. Probably our most winnable game before that. Otherwise, I think it's just about clinging on and maybe trying to get in form for that European playoff. If you did enjoy this episode though, not the most exciting in front of goal as we didn't score, but great to make the top 6, then please do put a thumbs up on the video and subscribe down below for daily FM22 content. Tomorrow's Hemel one should be a momentous moment in the save. Please do make sure you're up to date with that one. There's also links to Sunday's special, the top 3 playlist and the latest experiment video, as well as all the links down in the description too. Let me know in the comments, what do you think? Are we going to be able to get financially secure this summer? And can we do anything other than finish 5th or 6th? Personally, I think it's probably unlikely. But in the meantime, I will put Sunday Special above my head now. Please do give it a try if you haven't already. And I'll see you here again in a couple of days' time as we finish our week of FM stories with a big Danish Cup semi-final against the side that battered us today. I'll see you there.